So Ryan Day named Ohio State starting quarterback, and it's going to be Julian Sayin. And so the next question is, what does that mean for Lincoln Kienholz? 3 years into the program, and I honestly think he just took his best shot at winning this job, at least maximize his opportunity to do so. Was an Iron Buckeye and was heavily involved in this quarterback battle up until the end there. I'm Stephen Means and Stefan Krajisnik, and that's Andrew Gillis. Andrew, I want to start with you. The way Ryan Day talked, you were here in 2023 when they did carve out a role with Devin Brown in the run game. Lincoln Kienholz is significantly a better athlete than what Devin Brown is. In fact, one can make the argument Lincoln's the best athlete this quarterback room has seen since Justin Fields left it. Are you open to the idea of Lincoln Kienholz having a role in the run game, and do you think it would be worth it for Ohio State to explore it in 2025?
Yes, but I am vehemently against it August 30th. I am vehemently against it early. And history is perhaps, maybe there are some people who are saying, why not throw him out there? We lose our running threat with Will Howard. Why not give us a red zone running threat? I understand that argument that people are going to make. I understand that argument that does exist. It has points. But I go back to 2023, and we saw Devin Brown run kind of like a wildcat type of offense against Purdue. We saw him kind of early in the year. Devin Brown got hurt, and Devin Brown missed like a month where he was unavailable. And I have memories of sitting in Madison, Wisconsin in the press box as Kyle McCord's limping off the field. He can barely move. I just needed to diagram that for people. Dragging his foot off the field because his ankle was sprained and he needed to wrap it up. And I saw Tristan Gebbia warming up on the sideline, and I went, that's not great for Ohio State. And right now, I guess that scenario is Brick Handler warming up for Ohio State because Tavian St. Clair was in that Lincoln Kienholz role where Lincoln, they were just not ready to put him in a game yet right now. So I'm not doing that right away. I want Julian to have as many snaps as possible. I'd want Julian to have as much rep as possible because I said this in our other video. This is not a one-year quarterback decision that Ohio State made. This is what they hope is a 2-year quarterback decision with Julian Sayin. And if that's the case, you want him on the field. You want a second-year guy who has not played a lot to get reps because he's going to have a heck of a first game against Texas where it's going to be a really, really tough challenge, and you want him to grow into that role. So I think playing 2 quarterbacks is certainly an option, where you're sending Kienholz in as kind of a goal line guy. I think that's an option down the line. I think I'm doing that as Julian grows into more of a role, as you presume Lincoln Kienholz gets, more acclimated with things, as Tavian gets more acclimated with things. Now, if you get to your third quarterback, you're in trouble anyway. I know it's hilarious to say in this building where a third quarterback won a national championship. I'd want Julian to get the most reps. I'd worry about injury at the quarterback position when you're not really sure about your 3 and 4. I want Julian on the field if I'm Ohio State. And that is why right now I don't go 2 quarterback, but maybe down the line when you get into November and stuff like that, you can start working him in.
I think there's a significant difference between Lincoln Kienholz and Tavian St. Clair, though. Lincoln got here in June. Yes, Tavian St. Clair has been here for 9 months. He's also a better quarterback than Lincoln was at that age and their point. Like Eli Brick Handler's not playing a single snap at Ohio State. Stefan, are you open to the idea?
Yeah, I would. I'm very open to the idea. I would even consider doing it against Texas. The more you can get it on film, the more teams have to worry about it. And sure, winning against Texas is very important. It's also not the end of the world if you lose that game. Like I think the more opportunities you can get, Lincoln snaps on film, the tougher it's going to be for teams to predict what's coming. And I just think he gives you a variable to his game that Julian Sayin at least hasn't shown us yet, right? Like I think Julian's athletic enough to where like he can escape the pocket and buy time. But Ohio State was really successful on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 last year when they could just punch up the middle with Will Howard. Is that a situation where you consider bringing in Lincoln Kienholz? Like I think you can do enough with Lincoln where even if teams kind of have an idea that it's going to be a running play, you can still be successful with it. You scored points against Michigan when Michigan knew it was coming, so I'm sure you could do it with Lincoln Kienholz every now and then on a short yardage situation. So I would consider it pretty heavily and see what he can kind of be comfortable with, what he can bring you, because he's also a guy who's been around Ohio State a couple of years now. Like he's someone who knows the program pretty well and is super athletic. So I would consider it. I understand the injury aspect of it. Like, you don't want to risk, like, Tavian St. Clair suddenly your backup quarterback. But, like, I mean, yeah, but Julian Sayin can also get hurt, and then Lincoln Kienholz has to be the starting quarterback, and you're not really preparing for that. Like, injuries happen. Like, you can't not play a guy because you're worried about him getting hurt. So I would definitely have it in the playbook. Now, I don't know what that looks like. Maybe it's one snap in a game, like 2 snaps in a game. It doesn't have to be a ton, but I would at least work it enough to where it's a serious option on a 3rd and 1 in the 4th quarter against Texas. I would consider it.
Yeah, I'm never going to live in the world of, well, what if somebody gets hurt? They play football. Guys get hurt all the time here. I think they should 100% do it. And part of the reason I think they should do it is because Lincoln can throw the ball. This is not a situation where you don't trust Lincoln to throw the ball. He's just not a better quarterback than the guy who's starting over him. So this is just because you put him out there doesn't mean he's only going to run. We literally saw Texas do this with Arch Manning in the Cotton Bowl. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's a great goal line situation to do. I think it's a great 3rd and 1 short yard situation to do. It adds a wrinkle. But also, if he throws it, then teams aren't going to go, oh, no, he's coming in because he's going to run the ball. Because all the options are on the table, which when your quarterback battle is this close, I don't know if it was ever extremely, extremely close, but what I do know is Lincoln Kienholz did his best to push Julian Sayin in a way that made Ohio State feel like if Nick Saban had never retired and this guy was just going to be your starting quarterback this year, they would have been perfectly fine with that. And so when that's the case, then yeah, use it. I think they should use it. Because if not, I think his talents are being wasted, especially when his skill set is this different than what Julian Sayin brings to the table. Julian Sayin probably maximizes your offense from a downfield passing threat, especially when you look at where the strength of this team is. But it doesn't mean that Lincoln Kienholz can't do something to help this team. Urban Meyer did it with Tim Tebow and Chris Lincoln and won him a national title. We've seen teams use multiple quarterbacks and one just be more of a package quarterback. I think that is a real thing to do. What I don't think was a real thing to do is when Kyle McCord and Devin Brown were still both getting meaningful snaps early into the season, where it wasn't like a package, it was just what they were doing. And that's not what they're doing here. This is a situation where you have a starting quarterback and you have a guy with a unique skill set that you think can help you. And I think anything that helps you beat Texas, anything that helps you win a national championship, I think you should 100% do that. Get the text 614-350-3315. It's a 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that. I'm Steven, that's Stefan, that's Andrew. We'll have these conversations at Buckeye Talk, so go listen to that wherever you find podcasts. Ohio State, Texas, less than 2 weeks away for the number 1, number 3 rap matchup. We'll talk to you later.